Ladies and gentlemen, happy Valentine's Day, and what better story today? What better Valentine's Day story to talk about than the White House Deputy Director resigning for the most egregious statements leveled towards a political reporter. The political reporter was doing her job. So I give a lot of respect to Politico to the Politico journalist for doing her job and actually trying to find out any conflicts of interest, which of course there were. Of course, you had Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, and then you have the White House Deputy Press Secretary TJ Ducklo and his best friend forever, an Axios reporter. Now, if you read Axios, generally, the headlines or the stories are always negative towards Trump. President Trump had 92% negative media coverage. And you had the DNC emails and campaign emails literally showing get-togethers, events that journalists would attend that were Democratic Party or DC events linked to the Democratic Party. That's within their own writing. So we've already seen evidence through the reporting and just from the way that they're so intertwined, literally, physically. The lover's embrace that people had, that FBI agents and journalists have had pertaining to the Democratic Party. It's pretty unbelievable that President Trump was able to get anything accomplished. And he did. I mean, he was the first president to step foot in North Korea. He signed the First Step Act, allocated more funding to historically black colleges and universities than any president ever. That's a fact. The link is below in the description. He presided over the Abraham Accords, the beginning of beginning of peace and détente between North and South Korea, but the Abraham Accords, peace between Israel, UAE, Bahrain, and Morocco, economic deals between Serbia and Kosovo. President Trump, in terms of foreign policy, reversed U.S. foreign policy, ended America's longest-running military conflict. He was able to do great things. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. I'm going to give you some context missing from any coverage on President Trump, and I'm going to give you some needed context when it comes to media. These journalists not only have a bias, a great many journalists, they engage in a self-fulfilling prophecy. They truly believe that Trump is corrupt, so therefore they're suspicious of him, and they did everything possible to justify their political beliefs through their journalism. They did everything possible to throw this journalistic temper tantrum for 4 years. When it was Trump, a Steele dossier was all right, even though it was purchased by his direct political rival. When President Trump is alleged to have asked for loyalty from Comey, it's almost as if they were there listening in. Comey's memos were gospel. The Steele dossier was, of course, not only unverified, complete garbage, but they published it anyway. BuzzFeed published it anyway. And all of that information was filtered through intelligence operatives and the Department of Justice. The United States government utilized opposition research purchased by Clinton, compiled allegedly with the help of one Russian intelligence official, and filtered that through journalists. So hit subscribe to this channel. We're on our way back to 200,000 subscribers. Go to HAGoodman.com. You can read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post. You can see my debates if you want to support my voice long term. My Patreon is below to my new Patreons. Thank you so very, very much. I want to read you this. A White House communications staffer resigned in the wake of a report that he berated a female reporter for inquiring about his personal relationship with a fellow journalist. We'll get to the actual quote. But if this was President Trump's administration, it would be the end of the world. It would be the end of the world. It would be indicative of the collapse of morality, how President Trump runs an administration based on fear, and how President Trump's administration treats women. And look at, just look at, there's no outrage on the left. Maybe the far left. I don't have Twitter. I deleted my Twitter account 2 years ago, thank God. And things have been, thank God, infinitely better for me. The channel's doing great. Everything's great. Because I think one of the reasons is because I deleted Twitter. And I'm no longer on Twitter. But I can see, and you should do that too. Delete your Twitter, delete your Facebook account. I don't have Facebook either. But you can see what's going on. I mean, the only pushback, the only outrage is maybe on the far left, but that's quickly like swept under the rug. When it's Trump, it's, oh my God, he's a monster, he's an ogre. When Tara Reade filed a criminal report on allegations of disgusting criminal activity alleged that Biden was alleged to have committed, they literally cannot, like, if you tell this to somebody, and don't debate anyone who has Trump derangement, but if you tell this to a liberal Democrat, say, hey, wait, Tara Reade actually accused Biden and filed a police criminal report for what Trump talked about on a hot mic, like, the minds of certain people are so warped, and this is, like, frightening, but they actually believe the hot mic is 100%, like, that was reality, even though nobody's ever accused Trump of that specific egregious, disgusting act. But Tara Reade, in their minds, you know, they don't believe it. They delineate allegations against Trump versus allegations against Biden. Any allegation against Trump is true. Any allegation against Biden is not true. And then if you say, well, both have allegations, well, then the calculus and the moral formula or calculus is, well, Biden has less allegations, and Trump has more, and everybody knows that more allegations is more. If you have more allegations, then you're more guilty. Meanwhile, where were these allegations? The majority of them before Trump ran for president or became president, but that's a different story. That's a different story. Without direct evidence or without evidence, nobody can say with certainty what happens within an allegation. But see, again, the issue of evidence is never requested by Democrats when they level accusations or when they're suspicious of Trump or Kavanaugh. It's only demanded when, and you should see what they did to Tara Reade. So, I mean, they tried to eviscerate and tear down her claims against Biden, and they tried to disparage her as a person, and they engaged in the most despicable behavior. And many journalists and many liberal Democrats are the definitions of hypocrisy because they utilize the suffering and the experiences of people for political gain. And they jump on this soapbox and their outrage is heard throughout the universe when it suits them. But when they have to live up to their ideals, Biden's president. But here in Ducklo's conversation with the Politico journalist, which occurred in January, Ducklo reportedly stated, "I will destroy you." Good liberal Democrat. Isn't that a good liberal Democrat? Morally superior and virtuous. You're talking about people, oftentimes, and from now on I'm going to say, because I'm guilty of not, well, I'm going to try to say oftentimes, many liberal Democrats, not everyone, okay? But there are a great many liberal Democrats out there who truly feel that they're morally superior to Trump or anyone who voted for President Trump, but will engage in this type of behavior. It's like this psychosis. It's like this mass wave of narcissism where the egos of certain voters are so inflated that they wake up every morning saying, "Oh yeah, I am morally superior. I will destroy you if you," and accused her of being jealous because an unidentified man wanted to engage in relations with his girlfriend and not you. Wow. So you're getting into all this drama. And could you imagine if this salacious controversy took place under President Trump? It would be the end of the world. They would focus on this for 2 weeks. They'd probably impeach him. They'd probably impeach Trump for what his deputy press secretary did. The White House staffer allegedly accused the reporter of being jealous of his relationship. The White House senior level staffer and political editors had discussions about the incident, and Ducklo issued a written apology. That's the way they always. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I can't do my Bill Clinton. Oh my goodness, here, that's better. I just want to let you know that when I was caught with my pants down, I apologize because I was caught with my pants down. If my pants weren't down, I'm losing it. If my pants weren't down, you better believe I wouldn't have apologized. Ducklo issued a written apology, but the White House did not suspend Ducklo until Friday after the story broke. So it's always like, many liberal Democrats are like the new televangelists of today. I have sinned. They just pontificate and preach and condemn and judge. But then when their skeletons, Lincoln Project, Ducklo, endless stream of liberal Democrats and never Trump Republicans who have the most skeletons in their closet. You gotta ask yourself, the people who've condemned Trump, when I was talking about Hillary Clinton writing about the obvious and potential criminal activity from private servers with top secret intelligence. I mean, how did the top secret intelligence get there? I never made moral condemnations of Hillary or Bill. That's not my style. I never said that they're immoral for trying to hide their communication from the American people. I never condemned them. One thing, you could say, oh, well, you focused on certain Democrats and when you're writing and da-da-da, but I never made these moral condemnations. Because I do understand that politics is filled with, dirty deeds, but certain things like jeopardizing national security with secret servers, yeah, that's and that had SAP intel on them. That's pretty out there, and that was swept under the rug. But I never said that I never said that President Trump or Trump supporters I'm a better human being than Hillary Clinton because of that. Many journalists and liberal Democrats and many progressives think that they're better human beings. And you look at this story, and it's not when's the last time you had, this didn't happen during President Trump's administration. This didn't happen. You didn't have the deputy press secretary resigning for giving an ultimatum, and there's a word I can use, but I don't want to, making that type of, derogatory and positive. I mean, depending on the way it's stated, it could be criminal. But TJ Ducklo has apologized to the reporter with whom he had a heated, in this Jen Psaki, it was just a heated conversation about his personal life. It wasn't actually literally stating that he's going to destroy her. Okay, he is the first to acknowledge this is not the standard of behavior set out by the president. Actually, it is. The president went into the office. Biden went into the White House being accused of the most horrendous criminal act by Tara Reid. So this is just yet another example Yet another example of the Bill Clinton, Anthony Weiner, Biden. I mean, the list is profound. But see, again, the mind of many Democratic voters, the minds have been so warped that they cannot fathom that they could be more immoral. They could be less moral. They might not be morally superior to Trump or people who voted for Trump. It's actually impossible for them. It's actually impossible for them. Because whenever they're caught with their pants down, they tone down the rhetoric. It was a heated discussion. The investigative journalism, actually it happened, so it was good. But it wasn't. There's no outrage, and we're gonna take care of this. Okay? No immediate impeachment. So I give a lot of praise to Politico, actually. Politico, it's good. Well, the Politico journalist. And so anyway, you can read, the article is by Mike Brest in the Washington Examiner. White House staffer TJ Ducklo resigns after allegedly berating reporter over story on his relationship. So again, you have emails, you have evidence with the Lincoln Project, you have this story. I believe there are emails and evidence with this. I believe there are emails that they can point to. Correct me if I'm wrong. So anyway, but you have evidence of wrongdoing. You have people who, are resigning now because of the most just disgusting behavior. And where's the condemnation? Where's the outrage and the horror? Where is that? Where is that? It's nowhere to be seen. Give me your thoughts below. This is definitely a very interesting, very, very interesting story on this Valentine's Day. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Just look, imagine if it was President Trump's administration. Imagine. Give me your thoughts. Thank you so very,